Hello and welcome to Andy's World Journeys, the vlog or vlog or whatever you'd like to call it. Today's vlog is entitled The Killer Fish of the Planet Squee and how they are going to dominate the Earth. No, it's not really. I was just told I should think of interesting out there titles for the blog. But this is the essential packing guide for you anyway. That's what I'm going to call it because essential sounds important. And you know, here is a pack I kind of prepared earlier. So I am only about 9 days away from flying off on a 7-week trip that takes in Central Asia and a bit of Spain and Portugal and a couple of little things here and there. So I'm not usually quite as organised as I have been this time. Maybe it's because I haven't been overseas for 18 months and I just can't wait to get away. But I thought I packed a little differently this time, so I thought I would share with you just a little of what I've done and how I've gone about it. And I thought I'd start with the packing cell / packing pod, which I have never used before, but I'm very excited about. What I have here on top of my backpack is this large one from Kathmandu. This is a large size packing pod, and so what you would do is, you would fill up your packing pods with, I would say mostly clothes, I don't know, or linen, or I don't know, towels, whatever you need. This here is my backpack. As you can see, it's actually, well, I think it's a 70 litre or a 65, and it's not that big. And I bought it a couple of years ago, and I realised the reason that I bought this one, the slightly smaller one, was basically just to try and stop myself from taking too much when I travelled. Because I do tend to just go, I really need 7,000 t-shirts. And then you meet people who are like travelling with one, and they just sort of turn it inside out. Now, that's not going to be me. But I do tend to take too many clothes and then not wear half of them, and wear like one set all the time. So anyway, this packing pod is empty, and it's you see it zips, and it's got a mesh here so you can actually see what the heck's inside it. And I think they're going to be really useful, but I could be wrong. And so I bought this Kathmandu one from online, and I had a voucher, which is why I bought the Kathmandu one, because it's retailing for $34 Australian, which is really a lot of money for that. And but I got it with my discount for $20, and then it was paid by voucher, so it wasn't as bad. But I did pick up on eBay a set of 6 packing cells or packing pods or whatever you'd like to call them, which cost just around about $10 or $11 Australian. And here's one I packed earlier here. So I think, you can pretty much put everything into these pods, and it becomes a lot easier. But I do have some other tips for you. These tiny little bottles here. I was in Chemist Warehouse and they were selling Colgate plaques for 99 cents, which is a bargain in anyone's language. And I hate Colgate plaques. I like Listerine, I hate Colgate plaques. So I emptied the bottles. I got a little funnel, and I've got 4 of these things filled with Listerine, which will hopefully be enough. Might not be enough for 7 weeks, but we'll wait and see. Likewise, this was an old bottle of shampoo that was empty, but little travel size things like this are really essential. And I'll probably stay in places, not all of them, but some of them will give me little toiletries, shampoo and whatnot. So the thing is, what I've got in here is a whole bunch of stuff that's yet to be packed properly, but this is a Ziploc bag. I mean, if you've travelled a lot, you know about Ziploc bags. I'm sorry, environment, I've probably used quite a few of them, but These things under pressure in planes especially, or if they're getting chucked around they're on top of some sort of minivan or whatever, they're going to get pushed around, there's going to be pressure, and what can happen is that the bottles pop open and out seeps shampoo over everything. So this is an extra layer of protection against that. Sleeping sheets. In here is a sleeping sheet. I'm not sure that's exactly what the material is. I think it's mostly cotton. And so, like, if you're staying in a place that maybe you are worried isn't 100% clean, or you're worried about the blankets or something, or they've just got blankets and they don't have nice sheets, or I've stayed in a lot of places in some countries, and the sheets are just not large enough. They're actually they're like half the size of the blanket, and once you've been sleeping there for a little while, you're sleeping on blanket and you get itchy and whatever. But this is a sleeping sheet, so it's like a sleeping bag, but it's just a sheet, and it goes all the way around you, and so that can protect you from nasty blankets. As we travel further into the technological age that we find ourselves in now, you're going to find, I'm sure already you do, one of the most essential things is that you can charge your phone, your iPod, your tablet, whatnot. So I always, these days, I take something like this. Did I buy this at Target? I might have. It's got 4 USBs there, and it just flicks out there. That's an American/Japanese style plug, and it's got other ones. This is the Australian one, which I won't be taking with me, and it just flicks in there, and as you can see, it's actually really nicely self-contained, unlike the last one I had. It's a bit heavy. That's the only criticism that I would have. But all you have to do is I'm in the UK, I'm in Singapore, KL. They use this strange plug, and you're charging, but of course you still, like my laptop still charges with a plug in the wall, so I have the old universal power adapter, which is a power adapter that's universal. One thing I find really, really useful, which I think people think is very quaint and silly when they see me travelling, I find pencil cases awesome. This is a nice sized blue one here, and what I do with this one is I like to keep a lot of electronic stuff in here. So at the moment it's got a cord for my microphone, it's got some USB charge cables, it's got my battery charger for my camera, it's got a spare it's got a spare power adapter, and so I'll pop my universal power adapter and the USB in there for now, although it just depends on whether I decide to take this one in checked luggage or hand luggage, so we'll see with that. Toiletries. I have had this thing, this is again a Kathmandu thing. I'm not plugging Kathmandu. To be perfectly honest, they do make really good products, but the pricing on the products is a lot at times. This is at least 10 years old though, and it's still in one piece and actually in pretty good nick. So I can't really complain about that. I don't know how much it cost me. I don't know how much something like this would cost today. But it contains, first of all, it hangs up, it's got a little hook, and so you're in the bathroom and you just hook it over something. Hopefully it's got something easy to hook on. It's even got a little mirror. I've got clippers and scissors in there as well. And in this main pouch here, I have a variety of stuff, and these are the things that I make sure I keep inside Ziploc bags. So here's another shampoo, comb. I don't put a comb in there. Toothbrush, so that's great. And also I got some hand soap, because sometimes you don't get it, so I do tend to pick up hand soap and take it with me when I find it. I mean, I've got 4 here, so I don't think I need more than 4 at any one time. but you know, sometimes you end up in a guest house or something, and there's no hand soap, you know, and I much prefer soap to body wash. Anyway, that's probably because, you know, I'm 44 going on 65. You'll probably need a guidebook. Well, you might not. I mean, the internet can print stuff out. Depends on how much planning you like doing. If you're like me and you like doing planning until the cows come home, then you probably will want several guidebooks. I tend to keep guidebooks for the place that I'm not presently in this backpack here. My day bag, or my day pack, which I haven't got here, is a pretty roomy one, but I don't want to be carrying too much around with me. So it's usually, you know, if I'm flying to a place, then it's get the guidebook or whatever I need out of here and put it into carry luggage. So I know I have to repack now because I pulled this apart. So I haven't really made life very easy for myself, but I still have a few items that have to go in here anyway, including pajamas and a few more long sleeve shirts. It may not look like it all sort of fits in comfortably, but it will. It definitely will, because this thing can lift up quite a bit, and I haven't utilised this space yet at all. So we'll see what happens there. I haven't decided whether I'm taking a sleeping bag. That's the other thing. In the past I have, but not necessarily every trip, because sometimes you're not happy with the blankets, or you know, it's just more comfortable, because like a sleeping bag laying out as a blanket I find quite comfortable. But I don't think I'll be taking a sleeping bag this time, because I just don't want to carry the goddamn thing everywhere I go and maybe use it once in the space of 49 days. So, that's been my vlog about my packing experience here, and I hope that somehow, some way, I have said something a little bit useful to somebody who's watching this video, basically. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Yeah, I'm just letting this YouTube stuff. And oh, of course, may the journey never end.